All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another live stream of how to pick stocks, options, and let's look at some futures. All right, with that being said, hopefully everybody can hear me. I'm going to move this up a little bit. All right. Wow, what a night, or what a weekend. Looks like futures were up and down and all around. So with that being said, I'm going to take a few minutes to let people join, and then we're going to look at some things. Hope everybody's weekend was good. If you have requests, hit me up in the chat. Now let's look at this guy here. All right. Good morning. I am Algo, and thanks for joining me on another morning watchlist building session. We're going to look and see if we can find some stocks and options that are going to make a greater than expected move today. And we're going to be using the Smart Money, Dart Pool, and Block Trade algorithm software. It's provided by FlowTrade. If you've not watched me stream before, I'm going to do a quick run through. The screen you see in front of you is the Smart Money, Dart Pool, and Block Trade algorithm. It's provided, like I said, by FlowTrade. If you see me draw red horizontal lines, those are regular block trades. Blue are dark pool block trades. If I draw a white horizontal line, that is when there's a dark pool and a regular block trade so close to each other that I can't separate it out. Yellow I'll use for directional stuff, and the purple line that you see will be the regular algorithm. Okay, we've got quite a few stocks to get through this morning, so I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into it here in a second. And just get some of these loaded up here that I'm looking at for this morning. I typically look back about 14 days for block trades. That seems to be a pretty decent number. We have lots of earnings this week, so let's not forget about that. Mainly Tesla today after the close. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of volatility around Tesla. Okay. So get your requests into me if you have them. If not, I'm going to check the board real quick. All right, so we're going to look at SE. Let's see, GRWG, PayPal, FedEx. Also going to look at BA. What else did I hear news about? Oh, Apple, eBay. Coin. That's going to be moving today. And then I believe there's an IPO of an electric vehicle company that should be happening today. I can't remember if it's Highline or CCIV or Ride. I'll have to check into those, but that's what we're going to look at. I can't remember the name of it. Give me 1 second here. All right, and then BRO, bro. All right, this is BA. Well, first of all, let's look at the futures. All right, so overnight, looks like a little bit of an overnight flush down to the 200 simple moving average. We're currently broke back above the 50 period, and we are in the 4-hour cloud. Now, this looks like it could be a reversal pattern. This 1, 2, 3, right? So we'd be looking for kind of this move to happen. This would have to go up here, right? That's the kind of move we're going to be looking to have happen. However, if for some reason we get down in here, I don't know why it went green. I don't ever use green for anything. If for some reason we break down below there, we've got point of control coming in on the 5-minute looking at 43.78.75. So it's going to be interesting what happens in the next 20 or 30 minutes. If we break down below point of control, obviously we've got, this is a 4-hour mid coming in at 43.69. All right, just call it 43.70. That's going to be my support level. Right below that, I feel like we're going to continue to sell off during the day, right? LES. Block trades. Okay, so the question is from Travis. Morning, Nick, Travis. I was going to mention LVS, and he wanted to know the direction of block trades. Is there a way to identify them as buy or sell? Okay, that's a great question. And the answer is, I believe with FlowTrade, let me just double check here. That is a good. Let me double check on that, Travis, and I'll get back to you. I know that other services, like let's say Quant Data, for example, which is another great options flow specific. They track options flow, right? Whereas FlowTrade tracks the algorithm, what smart money is actually doing in real time. Like Quant Data, Black Box, Flow Algo, all those companies are reactive. They're just reporting the orders that are happening at that moment. Whereas FlowTrade, we actually are tracking the direction of market makers and smart money, hedge funds, large institutions, what they're doing, right? So if the algo is buying, then obviously it's going to manipulate price action to buy with it. However, like Quant Data, like I said, Black Box, Flow Algo, they're reporting orders that have come through. Okay, so for example, LVS. Let's just do a filter for LVS, right? Looks like as of Friday, they had some dark pool prints coming in. Dark pool, they can't. That's the thing about dark pool. It's not going to let you see if it's a buy or a sell order, and that's why it's there's a lot of mystery around it. But looking at the market overall, if you get a print where if we get a large print when a stock is at a high, you'd probably assume that it was a sell order. Now, as far as options flow goes, looking at LVS for last week, you can tell there's a bunch of calls. So there's a lot of buying. All right, obviously calls outweigh the puts. These would be like golden sweeps, right? They would be buying the call at the ask, right? Let's see. We got a block trade that came in for LVS. So basically, there's lots of call pressure coming in for LVS. Looks like mainly the October 15th, 52.50. Well, it's kind of all over the place. 52.50 seems to be like the most, right? The most block trades that came in for that. I've got some filters set up on these. I'm not going to run through it right now because this isn't a quant data review. I can do one of those later if you'd like. But to answer your question, it's not really a way as far as dark pool goes to see whether it's a buy or sell. Okay. Excuse me. All right, looking at futures again. I'm just going to keep an eye on ES as far as NQ is concerned. It's just basically consolidating off of this giant bull flag, right? We nice pop, came back down, bounced right off the 4-hour Keltner channel top. Currently trading below the 50, but above the 200 SMA. And this is a 15-minute chart. I'm going to drop that down to 5, a little bit more reactive. Here we go. We got point of control coming in at 15,099. I don't believe so. This is going to be the key level. Let's just do this. I don't know why I'm screwing around. So we've got the 4-hour Keltner channel top coming in here, right? The Keltner channel top 1.5 there. we've got the 4-hour cut-line channel mid coming in here. All right, we're currently trading below point of control, below the 50 and the 200. So look for this to provide support. If this breaks down, then we come back down and we test this little micro demand zone that was created overnight, which if we go back in time, well, it's probably the only one, right? Little micro demand zone, probably just call it this, right? Break down below that. We've got one final little stop before we come back down and test some of these previous highs, right? Which would be this level there. If we break below 15,014, I feel like we're gonna fade probably another 50 or 60 points on NQ. As far as ES is concerned, just gonna run through the same thing I did there. ES is looking a little bit better. However, looks like there's a micro zone that we're currently in, right? Let me just mark that up real quick. All right, nice tweezer double bottom there to we'll just call that supply for today, and then demand we're going to run from down here. Sorry, these are kind of important levels. I look at micro supply and demand zones, especially when a stock's at pretty much all-time highs. I'll just have to keep an eye on this. Right. I mark my stuff up a little bit differently, right? Most people are like green on top. I like to do it this way, and this is my thought process behind that. So if I'm a supplier, which I am, right, I'm going to buy at a demand zone. So this would be green for me, and I'm going to take profit or sell at a supply zone, right? So if I'm buying here, I'm going to sell here, right? So this is, you know, I spend money, I make money. Looks like ES may not have enough momentum to get through this little supply zone here. So we're going to keep an eye on this. The reason is if ES opens flat or a little bit down, then I would anticipate a nice rip for the day. However, if we open at highs, look for the fade, right? That's just basics. All right, so we're going to look at Facebook, Apple, PayPal, CAT, CVX, CCIV. Is it CCIV that's merging? Nick, let me know what you find out. Okay, so I'm interested in Plug. I did a video over the weekend for Car, eBay, and Tap. Go back and check that out if you're interested. I also went over Apple at that time. I believe Apple is going to sell off. And let me explain why. We've got this massive supply zone running at about 148.50. It's had a problem getting above 150 before it, right? It's just kind of ran into this overhead resistance, so it may need to come back down, you know, back down to the daily, maybe even to the 4-hour bottom before it breaks higher. Like lots of overhead resistance, right? Kind of extended MACDs. Let me check out. Move things just around for just a second. All right, I'm looking at Apple on TOS right now, just from a MACD perspective, and it's 50s, it's 6s, right? With Apple, thanks, Nick. That's the one I was looking for. Oh, awesome. LCID. I'm looking at that for the long term. As soon as they start having production numbers, whew, it's another Neo in the making. All right. Apple, it's in congestion. It's in resistance. I'd like it to, come back down to 140, 145, 143. Yep. I'd like it to come back down, test 145, and then continue this move upwards. It's forming a nice little I believe they call this a rising wedge. Right, where you've got this kind of move here. Oh. Misplaced that. Give me 1 second here. And right, kind of rising wedge. It's getting squeezed as it's coming up. I usually push it back down to the downside. Okay. All right, let's hop into this with. So the request is for Facebook, CAT, CVX, and PayPal. All right. You guys can look at this and pretty much know what I'm going to say. Facebook looks really heavy. The algo has been net selling since the beginning, a little bit in the last week. This is not an established divergence that's been established long enough for me to really call it divergence. I'm just going to drop these block trades to the last maybe 10 days, and then I'm going to go ahead and start marking this up. So, like I said, if you see red horizontal lines, those are regular block trades, whereas the blue ones are dark pool. Right? Oh, there we go. So we're going to base support at 360.54. Right? We've got one below that. We've got a little bit of a cluster coming down at 337 to 338.90. Right? The algo is currently resting on one at 341.50. So continued selling pressure, right? Should bring Facebook back down to earth. Facebook does have a gap that's going to need to be filled at some point. So algo direction is algo selling. No, what happened? I clicked too many buttons. Sorry. I like 3-day trend divergence. Some people will argue that point, but a clear established pattern is better than some shorter term ones. So if you look at Facebook, these giant moves, right? If we had said back on the 15th that it was bearish trend divergence, that it had only been playing for a day, we would have been wrong. So with that being said, let's just I like clear divergences that are at least 2 to 3 days. That's personal preference. Some people like it for a week. Some people only play fifth wave on Elliott wave. I mean, that's, like I said, it's all personal preference. So algo's net selling, right? The divergence just occurred recently, about here. Gap to fill, right? Look for that gap to fill. So Facebook, I'd look for a pullback to 360. Well, let me look at the chart real quick. All right. So while Facebook is in a strong uptrend and it's making parabolic moves, right? Up, right? Large move up, consolidate. Large move up, consolidate. It's got support. Facebook's got daily top support coming in at 365.94. 4-hour tops coming in at 360.59. Right? And then weekly Keltner channel support coming in at 357. So on its way back down to where I feel like it's going to hit 350. Right? It'd be nice if it came in and, rebased off of this level here. On the way down, it's going to, maybe bounce a little bit. I'm looking for this key bounce off of 365.90. If we bounce there, then we're going to continue a nice rip to the upside, and all of this technical analysis will, come into play next week when that divergence has had more time to develop. So with Facebook, I'm going to watch it. I'm basically neutral on it right now. Neutral to bullish in that it got a massive upgrade. However, you know, there's that gap that needs to be filled. Tons. Yeah, I used to play a lot of Facebook until I got burned on it one day. So I try not to play Facebook anymore. Oh, we got earnings coming up. Sweet, we got earnings coming up. I'm gonna play Facebook for earnings. I will let y'all know. Remind me Tuesday, because I'll probably put in a play Tuesday night for Facebook for earnings. Okay. I have a pretty slick little earnings setup that we can look through. Yeah. Until then, like, we've got a range to consolidate within, so we'll just keep an eye on that. All right, next one. I'm actually doing pretty good on time. Cat. All right. I've seen a lot of requests coming through for Cat lately. It's a little bit tricky for me. We've got a block trade at 209.50, and then we've got one coming in at 210, right? That's going to be support and resistance. That's going to really determine what direction Cat's going to go, right? As far as the Algo is concerned, the Algo's just essentially been trading with price action, right, in a very strong uptrending pattern for the last 2 weeks, right? We've got a little bit, like, I can't say that it's broken that, but it's definitely riding some lines, right? You see that? Whereas the Algo is consolidating and hasn't decided if it wants to make a move to the upside or the downside yet. I'm going to look at Cat. If we go... Yeah, it's stuck in the monthly Keltner channel cloud. So a lot of squeeze, a lot of consolidation is happening with Cat. It has a range from 214 to 200, so it's got a $15 range. For me, really a break above 215, then it's more of a clear direction to the daily top at 220. It may just bouncing back and forth within that $15 range, okay? Cat's got earnings this week too. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of earnings this week. I will be playing them, and I'll usually do an Iron Condor the night before. So keep an eye out. Don't really post those to Twitter, so I'll try to go over them. You know, hit me up if you're interested in it. There's different ways that we talk about these plays. All right. And Cat, Microsoft, CVX earnings this week. Okay. All right, the next one that we were going to look at was CVX. This is another one where the algo is just essentially trading with price action, using block trade levels as support and resistance. Right, we've got this little group from 100 to 142. There's your target. We've got a cluster down here at 95.77. That's your support, and then we've got this little range that we're just kind of chopping within from 97.92 to 99, so a little $2 range. The algo is just trading with price action right now, and there's not enough divergence for me to really call it bullish or bearish. As far as the trend, however, is kind of a sloping uptrend. We've got, we've got this little, seems like this pattern is pretty reoccurring lately, where we got this, this a little bit of a wedge pattern. Like I said, for me to really be interested in CVX, to break a 101.50, and then I'd go long with it. Short, below 98, down to 95, right? 95 down. All right, so that's CVX. Looking at CVX. Chevron. Oh, okay. Um, well, let's look at... So, with crude futures just falling off a cliff, CVX must have earnings this week, right? I think I saw you mention that. So with crude futures falling off a cliff, the MACD for Chevron's super heavy, earnings coming up, we're stacked below our moving averages, right? We're below the 200, we're below the 50, we're below the 34, we're below the 21, barely above the 8 EMA. So if we were to close below the 200 on the daily, I'd like to come back down and test some of these previous highs, right? There's our support. If we break below that, then it's going to be pretty ugly. There's our immediate overhead resistance. And then we've got, looks like there's a little supply zone right here. But yeah, it looks really heavy. And 3-day, 4-day weekly squeeze below VWAP. Right, daily Keltner channel support. Yeah, I'd keep an eye on it. We may run up to 100, but then sell off after that. We've got, oh, what did I do there? Pretty significant resistance at 101.95, right? Looks like we got a little bit of a supply zone. This actually lines up pretty good. So we've got the supply zone that will be a shorter term target, right? Right in there. We may reach up, tap off of that, and then continue to sell off. We'd need to break above 103 and close above it for me to consider going long on this. But with future selling off, micro future, oil future selling off, a beta of about $2.50 a day. All right, earnings coming up. It should be interesting since we're being squeezed between the 200 and the 8 right now. So just keep an eye on it. It's, yeah. So it's either going to go like 1, 2, 3, or it's going to reject off of these or break above it. It's at a decision. It really is just at a decision-making point. Sorry. All right. Next one we wanted to get into was PayPal. And that'll be over here on the lower right-hand side. So with PayPal, I'm not seeing any really dark pool prints on it. Obviously, anytime Bitcoin moves, PayPal is going to move. That's just the way it works. PayPal is pushing Bitcoin pretty heavily. We've got some regular block trades coming in at, you know, starting at 292.35, which is what started this run that PayPal's been in. Right? Let me just show you this. So the Algo's pretty much been net buying with price action. Pretty, right? I don't even know what to call this. Is it? I messed up that line. Let's try something else. So, all right. So while it looks like the Algo's pulling back a little bit, I can't tell. It looks like it's getting a little bit of a curly Q. A little curly Q at there. If it curls down, look for it to bring price action back down to, it looks like there's a little gap right in there that needs to be filled. Right, pull it back down to some of these previous levels. Right in there. Actually, like that is the level. Purple. So I'd look for price to come back down and test 304-ish. If the algo curls up and this newly formed support holds, then we'll give us a target. I would look for PayPal to pull back to, like I said, we'll just call it 308 for the next continued move up, which is that previous high. So I'd like PayPal to pull back to here for the continued move to the upside. If we break below the 1618 to the downside at 306, look for 302 to be the next level. So what I see happening is PayPal possibly bouncing off of this level here. Bounce off that level for the continued move to the upside. If we fail, then we're going to come back down and probably stair step our way back down to about 302, right? Now there's lots of massive upgrades today, and yeah, Covis, I'll check out cuts real quick, their coin real quick. Yeah, this is PayPal, right? It's got earnings coming up, lots of earnings. Yeah, so we may come back down and test 305 before we continue to move to the upside. Right, the trend is obviously bullish. We don't want to go against the trend. We want to play any pullbacks for the next move up. This is nice. PayPal may just rip. This could be one, right? This could be the first move, or it could be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with a correction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, just keep an eye on it. This is a good call. Daily squeeze. $6 ATR. We're at 100. We're at the 52-week high. 60-day channel looks good. VWAP looks good. Daily, weekly, monthly breached Keltner channels. Lower time frame MACDs, which would be basically our 2-minute to 1 hour, are looking pretty heavy. Right, that's just for our lower right hand side. So like I said, that may just be that pullback needed for support before we continue to move to the upside. Let's just check out. And it's got a lot of support coming in. Get rid of some of these drawings. Does anybody recognize that Wu-Tang reversal pattern on the 4-hour? Down, up, down, up. Okay. It really is at a decision-making point. Let me get some longer-term fibs on here. We go from high to low. That'll give me my 127 at 332.55. Right. If I do a shorter time frame one, I'm going to do extension. And all I'm doing is looking for symmetry, right? Seeing if I can get any of these, getting anything to line up, and I did. So 332.50 is going to be my target. Yeah, those 330s look pretty decent. If I go out, I've got to middle of next month. 320, 330, 340 fly looks pretty decent. Or 310, 320. $330 fly. For this week, what was the ATR on it? $6 ATR. I have to keep an eye on that. Like I said, I'll look for a pullback if I need it to really base, and then I'll look to try to get in maybe the, the 315, 320s. Are those decent? I'd have to do a vertical because these are out of my risk tolerance. So I'd look for the 310, 320 vertical probably, or 310, 315 for a buck something. That looks pretty decent. All right, so I'm gonna check out coin real quick. Okay. $255 target on coin. If it can maintain this 237, 236, 237 level, look for this type of a move to occur. Right up. Come on. Bounce off of there. Nope. Let's try that again. So off of the 4-hour top, up to the daily top, coming at 250, 256. Let's check out coin. What was the other request? COP. That's Conoco. You want to check out Mara and Riot as well. MSTR, that's another one. All right, so coin, we've got bullish divergence. I'm going to go ahead and call that because it happened back here on the 15th. It's been trading with price action since then. What's interesting is there's not a ton of block trades coming in. Right, overall trend is, right, overall net buying. We've got divergence that has occurred. However, most of those divergences have been played out already. The algo's curled up. Right, we've got a little bit of base of support here. Right. Nice little wedge. So I'm keeping an eye on futures. Like I said, it was going to bounce off of this level here, which it has, which is good. 256. All right, so coin, nice move to the upside. We're bouncing off of the 200, or excuse me, the 50 SMA, 34 EMA, which is also the 4-hour top. So 237 is our support. What did I say for 260? Wow, that's a crazy move. Yeah, so I like us coming up and testing previous highs right here. On the way up, we're going to run into And this is our little supply zone right here that we're going to go after. I'll just get that marked up. All right, we're going after that level there. We've got rising. All right. What do we got here? Come on. There's our support. There's our target. In between the two, we've got some levels. So yeah, with coin, we're already at the 50% retracement right here. We're currently trading at this level. Oh, we'll just show it to you. Right. So there's the supply zone that we're going to go check out. There's our daily Keltner channel cloud, right? Target. We ran into the 618 retracement, or yeah, retracement from the previous high to previous low. So we ran into that. Look for a pullback to the 50% retracement. A break below 235. We're going to come back down and test 230. If we maintain this level of 237, look for a run up into 242. Possible breach retest, moving back up to 250, 255. Right? These options look gorgeous. I'm going to grab anything that's about a buck 50 at the open, right? So I'm just going to throw... All right, we'll throw those on for now, but I definitely like coin. Robinhood also IPOs this week, so keep an eye on that. Sympathy plays in Mara and Riot. Mara looks a little bit more congested in that it's got to get above, 31 to go long. It looks like it's running into 30, 50. Has some pretty significant resistance for it, right? That's this level here. So with Mara, I would like it to come back down and test, it's 2750 for the next move to the upside. I believe it's got a lot of support that's been basing 24 to 25 or 26. So from 24 to 26 is just kind of consolidating support. I think we'll pull back to 2750-ish before we try to break through that $30 wall again. Right? Definitely going to play it from 32 up. Right, I'll play it from 32 up to 45, but it's going to take a lot to get through it. The Algo's trading with price action. We've got a dark pool level at 2285. Like I said, the Algo's curled up. Let me just mark this up real quick. Got time for about one more, and then I got to run. Right. So trading with price action, we got the Algo curled up. We've got a dark pool level. 2285. We'll just call that support. Right. Looks like it's got a little bit of a gap maybe that needs to be filled right there. Hopefully it doesn't have to come back and test that. Otherwise, there may be cleaner plays out there that can take advantage of the Bitcoin move. Riot, on the other hand, looks like Riot's selling off. So after this initial push on Riot, I would look to take Riot down. We don't have any block trades really to help us keep support. Right, the algorithm is net selling. Right, we've got pretty weak broken trend line support here, right? So it broke there. Now it's kind of just this little wedge. So I would look for, after any sort of initial pop and riot, keep an eye, see how the futures are doing, kind of what we thought it was going to do. A little double bounce off of this 4-hour top here. Continue to move to the upside. Look for a rejection off of 43.9650, but you could grab 2 points real quick if you wanted. So right is in that congestion I was talking about. Right, I'd look for maybe a run to 37, maybe. Let's look at this. So for me to get it back interested in Riot, I would need to see it break above 38, and then I take it from 38 to 52. That's just because it's got a lot of congestion to get to the weekly mid, right? While there's an opportunity, right, to play this little move here, right? I think it's going to be a lot of this. Right, that's a pretty choppy move. I don't think it's going to be a clean one. I do like Mara, or excuse me, I do like Riot above 37.50. Patience. It's at 32 now. Yeah. Like I said, it's got a lot of support. I just don't like all that chop that's going to happen on its way up. So what did I say, 37.50? Yeah. So if you can't see it, I'm going to just throw it on here for you. This is a supply zone. It's going to be pretty dang significant too, because it's got the 200 SMA right there in it. Alright, that's supply zone. So maybe a break of 40. We go to, then we start getting chunky from 40 to 45 to 50. Right? Psychological level, 50. Okay. Alright, I think that's it. I gotta run. You want me to check out Cop? Right. Cop and then Roku. Anything that's involved in tech is going to move just because of earnings. All right. The Algo is buying with price action on Roku. I don't see any reason why it would stop. Cop, this is nice bullish divergence. Let me just mark these levels up for you here real quick, Chevy. So net buying since the 8th. Recent bullish divergence that occurred here at this dark pool level. 57.18. We've got a regular block trade resistance that will be support 55.73 to 56, so a break of 56. I see a run to 57.18 with a little bit of resistance. If we can continue past that, then COP can continue to move to the upside. Keep in mind though, oil futures are selling off, so that means that it may just as easily come back down and test 55. All right, may come down and test there. So Look for a break of 56, and then it's pretty smooth to 57.18 or 57.25. Break above that, and then I can definitely see a nice long move to the upside. Roku, it's just a beast, right? Does what it wants, can't stop, won't stop. It wants 500. It really wants 500. So, yeah. Keep in mind, 473 to 486 is the supply zone. So if we can get back and above that, yeah, I'd like it if it can break 40, 45. Yeah, well, I don't know. I kind of like it at this level. See how it's just chopping between my my supply zone that I drew and the daily top. Yeah. If we can get up, we can play the cloud 475 to 485, right? But yeah, it should be interesting. Nick. Email me and we'll figure out a way to communicate. Right? All right, I got to run. I got about 10 minutes before the open. I got to take care of a few things. And everybody have a great day today. Thanks for joining me. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and if you haven't got your free trial of FlowTrade yet, there should be a link in the description. If not, I just gave my email address. Hit me up, and I will get you set up.